Hey everyone, I'm Wa.
And I'm Chris, and welcome to DocuSweeties.
We're two longtime friends who discuss the riveting and sometimes trashy world of reality TV and docuseries.
Yes, but through our own lens, honey, which is, very, very bitter. Spicy, especially this week, honey. That new moon and my hormones, spicy is, the beginning of it. But at the end of the day, hopefully mildly sweet. Yay! Like a treat.
Yeah, like a sweet treat.
Yeah, like a sweet treat. You know what? Like a trick or treat. Guess what season it's
Oh,
almost?
almost Halloween is my favorite. Ugh, the best type. So right now we're talking about Love After Lockup. Thank God we are Love After Lockup. Love during Lockup just weighs on my spirit. Season 5, episode 1, Born
Yeah,
That
what?
Way. Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
true. We don't know. I looked it up. So
Okay.
one LOL fun detail about that, if you haven't noticed, and is that we cannot categorize, and they can't categorize their own episodes. If across the land, we don't know if this is Love After Lockup, season 4, episode 201, or whatever. So that's in this moment, that is what I looked up, and I committed to it. And then if we want to change it, we can. You wanted to say some numbers and edit it later? You welcome to say whatever you want.
I just never know. It's like it'll be like season 3, episode 54. No, and it's like 3. It's like love during, love after, and whatever. Yeah. So it's just
love
like,
in the time of Lockup.
oh my god, it's crazy. I was excited about the cast of characters in this one. Sheree looks crazy with her little butt cheeks out. His mom looks crazy too. And then Renika and Asante. Chris, I kind of don't want to talk about them because anything that I have to say negative about Asante will feel bad because he has gone on to the other side. But I mean, not that I feel like you shouldn't talk ill of the dead. Like I love talking ill of the dead, but maybe not on a public platform. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we've been teasing this. When this, God bless. So the entire series again starts with a blackout card that says, this season was filled before the untimely death of Asante, who is Licitrus, who has been with Renika this whole time. So yeah, I get it. And because he's, it puts us in a precarious place because this show is very trashy and, but also, interesting. And we cannot help but be shown what we're showing, which obviously, because we have ears and eyes, is a gentleman that is like playing it up. Honey is like, two-timing. He's been two-timing. Like, in jail, it was obvious that he was two-timing. There was Instagram things. And then, of course, he, like, before he even gets out, there's, like, an aunt that suddenly is a girlfriend. Like, all of this has been happening. They're showing them. And this person is no longer on this earth. So it's really weird. And so, yeah, well, I'll be honest. I will do whatever you want to do, because things that we have said already, like, people are talking about. People, actually, things that we maybe supposed or we were like somewhat questioning that even are brought up in this conversation, in this episode, we questioned, and then people on Twitter started quoting us. I'll tell you about it later.
How dare you tell me something so shocking on live?
Okay, so all right, so this is okay. So now I'm in the hot seat. I'll tell you. So I'll tell you what happened, and then God bless Asante. So God bless him and his family. And I don't even know, like, how, I wish we weren't watching him, but we have, like, whatever we were shown last season, this season. Asante is, been in prison for 5 years, hasn't had sex, as he says, with a woman in 5 years, but, has some things in and out. He is beautiful. He's a beautiful man. Facially, this man is gorgeous. And I've said it before, and I'm not just saying it because he's no longer with him. He's a gorgeous man. And so we don't know what his life has been like, or whatever. And I think that maybe we were like, is this what it is? What this seems a little suspicious or whatever. And people on Twitter also agree. And so now it's like, we don't know exactly anything.
Have we gone viral?
No, but for us, we have at least 10 tweets about talking about, whether what his sex life was like a previous.
Wait, does Gabby put our stuff on X?
No, but we have listeners that were like, I thought this, and Wah said this. No, that's okay. So this is what happened. Fine. Am I just being so awkward that I'm just like,
Yes.
okay,
Tell me what the fuck happened.
All right. On Twitter, because you never go to it, but I deal with all of it, just so you guys know. If you guys are listening, this is guess who's
You
talking
and Gabby.
Yeah, it's not gonna be Wah, obviously.
Never.
But oh wait, get me back to my notifications. So wait. Oh, okay. Okay. Someone said, wait, LOL, in regards to Sante. She just hunched that man before he took a shower. He ain't even washed the 2 jails off him first. Maybe I'm overthinking, which happens this episode, and we're all kind of like, what's happening? And this person says, and he said he had been years since he had sex with a woman. So all she knows, his eggplant could be a dirty from jail and his boo. And then they're laughing. I ain't even peeped that. And then someone says, not us. Wah on docu, sweeties. Calls you out. This person is not me. That says, which is true that you said this, though, has said from the beginning that he was sweet. I didn't really see it, but I've never heard a straight man say with a woman as a qualifier when they're discussing sex. Sounds like LaCitrus was maybe, God bless, was on the, was gay for the stay, as they say, is what this person said. And then this person said, and another person said, I believe the same from the very first time they showed him on Love during Lockup. And the truth of the matter is, it's a spectrum, and this person served a lot of time in jail, and he did say it's been 5 years since he had sex with a woman, and maybe in his mind he was like saying like, oh, but I've been having sex with my hand, and we were like, it was an interesting thing, but I really do find him attractive, and I will say, God bless, so does Nika, who cannot wait to jump every point of him, honey, and he is definitely jailed. He is like, go ahead.
I'm going to cut that out and just give it to Patreon.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to end it at he ain't shit. And then we're going to start. Then you finish this thought. Just let you know I'm going to do that.
Do I even need to?
Okay, you don't. But you wanted to. You felt like you wanted to. Okay. Patreon, those are the thoughts. I don't want to be out there, calling anybody out. He could be bisexual. That's fine.
I know.
And I am a child of the 90s, and I'm a child of Eric Jerome Dickey. And so sometimes when I hear about these men on the down low, I'd be like, just say it, especially church. You know how many men I've seen fighting their demons, meaning, not wanting to be gay or not being accepted in the community, marry women and like having there be some scandal because his proclivities and what he loves, who he loves are men. So that always is a little bit like, LaCitrus, you really like Renika? Or like, so I don't want to be that person because, we are very much allies and we are like all the things. He could just be bisexual.
You're absolutely right. No, I don't think any of the, we would just also want him to share that information with our girl who I guess gave up her lashes business, to give him all the money, because the truth of the matter is you can be bisexual, but you have to be honest about, like maybe, what's happening just so people can be safe when they're giving you money. And also low key after the Colton Underwood thing where like we were just a whole bachelor just, like wasted a bunch of women's time. I'm also kind of like, don't waste women's time. And money also.
Yeah, but she could know, and we don't know. She could be well aware of it and just be like, this man is fine, and it's just not what it is. So, anywho, let's talk about Renika and Asante for the first and last time for this show. So basically, this fool gets out. She is pacing and acting a fool until he comes out. She jumps on him, and they make out, and then they get in her car. And did you notice that her rear driver's side window, there is none? She has like plastic and tape around it. So, I mean, she's like, I spent almost $4,000 to move. And I said, that is it? So she them boots, like it's a whole situation happening with Renika that we are noticing, and she is so excited, and she's like, I'm gonna leave the auntie shit alone because I just love my man. I love my man. And then he is just being so, to me, shady in the car with her, and then the auntie girlfriend calls and she hands the phone over, and then he didn't put it on speaker, and she is just threatening to pop him in his face. And so the whole car ride, when he's talking to his auntie girlfriend, he has his hand up waiting for her to like sock him. And I was like, that is so funny. And like, I get it that, you know, she's like, you boy, blah, blah, blah. And that's how some people are, you know, they hit each other, you know, whatever. But he said, listen, are you gonna be with me or are you gonna be with me? He didn't even try to deny it, Chris. He was like, you gonna be with me or are you gonna be with me? Are you gonna leave me? Then just leave me on the side of the road right now.
I know. She like sometimes has like the energy of like a little sister with him. Like the way that she dances while he's gonna get released and stuff like that. Like, you know, she has like a little sis energy, you know, like I guess also the hitting in the car kind of felt like little. I mean, I don't know. I've never been a little sister too. This is just whatever you say, or whatever I think it is. But I noticed one thing about the car is that there was a Coca-Cola can like rolled like forward as if there's some sort of add-on to her, like, you know, whatever, like driver compartment that is like a Coke dispenser. And I wondered if they were cold. Like it was like it was a Coca-Cola that was like ready to have open. And they didn't blur the cola part. It was so obviously a Coca-Cola. And I just didn't like, they didn't bother blurring one thing. So yeah. They like get in a fight over the auntie thing. They never really talk about it again. Then of course they show off the Airbnb that she brings him to. It says the word gather on it, you know, God bless. Like, you know, so this is, we know the living room because they put word art on the walls. And she's like, do you want to see the king and queen room? And he does, honey. And that's where he gets on the bed in jail clothes. And she calls him out on it. And yet she wants to get it in. He's been talking about how he wants to get it in. They're both very, very horny. And then in the middle of the night, he just gets up, honey, gets out of that room. Somehow there's like, you know, like cameras, and he gets into an unknown person's vehicle, his aunt's. I'm not quite sure his aunt's vehicle. It gave me a little bit like Monique and what's his face vibes. Derek vibes.
Yeah, he came out in a hoodie, and the car was blurred out as though like we could see exactly who it was. So I don't know if it was Auntie, because Auntie's voice, they fixed that voice, right? Because that sounded like a very deep voiced individual. So I'm like, they've covered the voice up too. So Auntie girlfriend did not agree to be on this show. So I just know it's going to be a lot of shenanigans. I'm not interested in like, you know, talking about what they're going through, because, you know, people get upset when you talk about trash people who die. So I'm going to, that's the last you're going to hear of them. All right.
Okay. Why don't we actually make a little money, Wall? How about that?
Oh, I love Christmas making money.
Oh, I
love it. Okay, guys, gonna go make money.
Oh, so much money. Oh my God, the money makes the world go round, you know, just really rich now, you know.
Thank you for listening and helping us towards our goal of richness. Rich. So the next couple that we can talk about is, let's talk about the new couple.
Okay.
Sheree and Anthony. Now, Sheree seemingly likes to show off her body, which I love for her. Mm-hmm. I loved that she had a nice car, even though it had a key entry, which means it's a little older. And but I like the way she carried herself. I loved her eyelashes. I liked her hair. But she seemed a little crazy.
She gave me Justine vibes a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. I was always confused because the way they didn't really do a good job of introducing her. Like, I feel like, and so much so that while I was like, she has got to have been on a previous season because of how just suddenly, I was in Florida, but now I'm in New York, and I was like, who are you? Come again? Nice to meet you. I was like, you know, like, who are you? Like, what do you do? Like, who are, you know, so, but Justine, no, not Justine. Like, it took me 9 minutes to realize it wasn't Justine, but no, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Also, where's Justine and Michael? But okay. So, because this is love after lockup. So they're still loving after lockup. Anyway, so she lives, she goes and visits Anthony's mom, or Anthony's mom comes and visits her house. Okay, let me get this right. Anthony is the dude that she's with, and her and Anthony have a place together. And Anthony has given his mother a key, so the mother just shows up now. Now, does it feel a little forced? Yes, it does, because somehow the mom is just like there cooking, and Charisse has like, or Sheree, sorry, has, I said wrote down. Charisse is Anthony's mom, and I think that Sheree is the new lady.
For sure, Sheree is the new lady. I didn't catch.
And Charisse is Anthony's mom.
But yeah, so she says that this is the condo that we own together, and I don't know how, because that man has been in prison for 7 years and she's only been dating him for 3. So that is her home, and it doesn't look like she just moved. That looks like a well lived in home. And so she gets in and she's like, why are you in my kitchen? And we're like, who? And then we turn over and see this woman who requires some concealer cooking in the kitchen. And the woman is his mother. And he's like, oh, he's a real mama's boy. And I said, but he ain't been around his mama in 7 years. So how does that make him a mama's boy? So anyways, though, she's talking about cooking and taking care of him when he gets home. And Sheree's like, you can't do that. Yet Sheree has allowed this woman to have a key to their house. So this all feels fake and forced. Chris.
I completely agree. I want to say at one point they show the mom, and behind her there's a bunch of books, and all the books are blurred. And I was like mildly annoyed, because I'd love to see like, I was going to see like what people like to display in their home. And of course we get their little sharpness that they have a secret, and we're going to find out their secret. So this is the secret. The secret.
Ready?
Is that Anthony was married before, and he just like, once he got in prison, he just like that, that puttered out. Okay, so he just applied for a divorce and then just like never really checked up on that. Meet Sheree, they fall in love, they want to get married, but they can't get married because he's still technically married, as a divorce hasn't gone through. But she told everyone, and so now what she did is she has to go online and purchase a fake marriage certificate.
So you're already tired. You're so tired. You paused in it because it's because it's a stupid ass. It's stupid.
It's
like
fake.
He's already divorced now, Chris. So she doesn't need the fake one. She could just actually go get married to him in real life. And it's like, how many people are like, you ain't married to him? Show me that marriage certificate.
Yeah, that's
what is she gonna do? Post it on the wall? What is the point of all this? And she starts crying like, we were supposed to be in love because we've known each other since we were 14 and we dated when we were 14, but he cheated on me. I'm like, don't count any relationship you were in high school. Is it real?
Oh, I kept my relationship in preschool. Oh, Robbie Robinson? My first love? Honey, the reason why I have the scar above my eye? Oh yeah, Robbie Robinson in jelly shoes. It was a match made in hell. Basically, yeah, like as you said, they have this history, and like I also love the fact that she also is like inviting the father of her baby to this like wedding reception or whatever, his release reception or whatever, because he always like would be like throwing the relationship back at her face, like that they hooked up when they were like 14, and like she's like giving it another go with this guy that just like has been her like first love from back in the day. One other thing, you're totally right. You're totally right. Is that
I'm black, Chris? I'm not totally white.
You're right about this. Like, so someone's gonna be like, "Are you really married? Let me see the marriage certificate," and not be like, "Is that bitch really married?" You know what I can easily do? Look online at public records. Like you can look up public records. Like, newsflash, you can look up a lot of things. And boy do I. But here's the thing: you can look up. There's like not someone who I don't mind. I don't see a person that would be like, I am so suspicious that I would go to her face and say, "You're not married unless I look and see the certificate." And that same suspicious person would be like, "Is this bitch married? Let me look online and see if this is real." You know what I'm saying? Like, and if they do, it's not real. Anyway, that's my thing about that. Oh, one thing I want to tell you that I love about her. At one point, she's wearing this like black tight tank top, and I love low hanging natural boobies. And I realize you can't tell at first, but they've censored out her boobies. And I'm like, why are they censoring out these boobies? They're in a tank top, and it's because it's see through. You can see like all the nips and all the areolas, and I liked it. Go ahead.
It's like the first one is booty cheeks out. And then the next one, she got her whole, like, where is her son? Like, she talked about her son and how, you know, the baby daddy be like, well, your man ain't here, so that's why you're lonely. You're cold at night because your man ain't here. And I'm like, ooh, sick burn, bro. Like, it is just, the whole thing is crazy. The mother in the kitchen with her wig and her lashes. Like, the whole thing is just the wildest thing that I'm like, oh God. And then The Secret, I was like, I will say though that she looks great in her confessional shot. Like,
I know.
I just loved it. I love the like silver, the earrings. I mean, to me, she's always going to give some kind of look, and that's what I'll be interested in.
Yeah, yeah. Now that I said the Justine, does that register? Does like the just even like that flint of straight hair in the confessional look? Was that give you Justine?
Yeah, I can see what you're saying now. Except for she actually has makeup on, and Justine just would not find the concealer. Okay,
it's 14 kids. Justine has 14 kids.
Ready to move on?
Yeah. Ugh.
Let's do something nice. Brittany and Key Rock.
Okay.
Oh, you guys. So, her nails are cute. So, at first, she's on the phone talking to her bestie. And she's like, Bess, I'm so nervous. I'm so nervous, Bess. Oh, you tell me Key Rock coming out. So, they're having that conversation. And Key Rock picked out her nails, which I thought was really cute. And she...
Gummy bear nails.
Yeah, gummy bear nails.
And it just was like, yeah, they were kind of just like soft, multicolored rainbow nails.
Like pastel colors. Yeah. I don't know any of these notes that you've written here. So if you could talk about the pops with a heart.
Okay. So yeah, I will. So sorry. So one thing is that then Key Rock calls, right? And I'll just say this is a mild, small thing. Key Rock's ringtone is your phone's basic alarm tone.
Oh yeah, it's like...
You're like, oh no, it's like dong dong dong. So it's like ding ding, you know, like whatever, like, you know, like that alarm tone that's like sudden chimes or something. Like, yes. It's just not ever a ringtone. It's so alarmy. And so like that's why I was like, that's Key Rock's alarm. Like, why is that as a tone? But anyway, God bless. So then the other thing is that she is, you know, in these kind of PJ pants, and then she goes out in real life and she's still wearing those PJ pants. And I didn't love that. You know, I think that there's sometimes some things are, I think that we have to go back to a society that some clothes are indoor clothes, Some clothes are comfortable and some clothes are outdoor clothes. And in the Venn diagram, indoor, outdoor, comfortable is this over thing. So some things are pajamas and they are comfortable, but they are in fucking doors. And like, then you can have sweatshirts and sweatpants that are comfortable that you can go out in. So, I mean, you have to really understand the fabric to make that choice. And that was a bad choice. Okay.
Is this
the thing is that, no, okay.
Okay, I'll find it.
It was something like that. It was like, I don't know. Listen, when you're talking, I'll go and find it. But I want to say the other thing is that I have now become completely hyper focused on people's contact names for people. Every person on any 90-day show and every Love After Lockup show always makes an emoji, as you said, after. And so here is another one where she has emojis for everyone. There's not a person. It's something like that. Maybe it's that. Where it was so like, I think that's almost like too. No, I'm gonna find it. It's actually not that.
Okay,
I know
you're gonna find it. Okay.
Okay. So and now I'm gonna give it to you so I can look it up. Okay.
Try slow rise. I think that's it.
We'll do it. Push it.
Okay.
Okay. So that's exactly it. That is it. She uses this ringtone for Key Rock, and I was like, that's so like. I think it's that one. It's something like that, where it's, you know, I now to go back and listen to it again. It's like all these sound like so specifically familiar. I will say one thing is that, you know, she's not a very she doesn't really allow a lot of vulnerability. We really haven't seen a lot. It's just like, oh, she's trying to do beauty, and some weird person EB is like stalking her, and like, you know, and the trans thing is like his beautiful thing, and we've only seen like one weird IVF thing. But she will say this: she does feel like a little bit sensitive about her body when she last saw Key Rock, like she was in prison. And, you know, it is definitely a whole thing where people gain weight out of prison across the board. So like, you know, I think like Michael, I've just seen him. I don't mean to like just go around down the list, but like everyone, you know, Lindsay, everyone has gained a little weight from like what we've seen, you know, which is makes sense. Like you get to have yummy food whenever you want now, you know.
Except for Amber and Puppy. Them bitches came out and lost weight. So it's interesting though, because I'm thinking like it must be what the food is like. Maybe where they were in Georgia, it was better food than wherever, you know, some other people are. And so she was worried about that. And I was like, girl, you fine. Don't worry about it. And he said the same
Beautiful.
thing. Yeah. I think she's so stinking cute. So when she then goes to set up the hotel room and she calls her father and has a whole conversation in Spanish and talks to her father about possibly coming down for Key Rock and meeting him because Key Rock wants to ask for her hand in marriage. And she says that dad doesn't know that they're already engaged and, you know, the relationship is getting better. And then she says something like, you know, my parents think I'm basically the worst. Like, I went to prison, I didn't go to college, and I got a tattoo. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. Not that she's the worst, but that's the same thing my parents would feel like. You didn't go to college. You went to jail and you got a tattoo. Why, man? Devils, you know. I wonder who Anita is because that's the tattoo she has. So maybe that's her mother. But anywho, so she has a cute conversation with her dad as she puts in batteries for the candle. And then she's like, I didn't even sleep in that bed the next morning when she has to go pick him up. She's like, I didn't even sleep in that bed because I didn't want to have to remake it. And I was like, baby, you're at a hotel. So if you slept in the bed, then when you came back, it would be remade. So she's staying at a pretty fancy hotel because she's like, can you bring my car down? And so she's a little late or, you know, a lot late because she's like running to the car and she feels like she's not going to be there in time to pick him up. It's 7 a.m. She's getting herself ready. She calls his mother on the way. I believe his mother's name is, Tammy. And Tammy is so sweet with her. And I love their relationship. I love the fact that Tammy allowed Brittany to go. Maybe Tammy couldn't make the drive, but I just like, you know, we have so many scenes where parents, mothers specifically, are fighting with the girlfriends or the wife to like meet the son or whatever out of prison. And it really takes the son to like lay down the law. Like we have Melissa and Louie, you know, she's gonna be fighting with Donna the whole time to decide who's going to pick up Louie. And so it was nice to see harmony. So then she gets there. Now, she has the night before or 30 days before, sent him some clothing so that he's able to come out styling profiling. And she does. And it was a great choice that she chose red because she can't go on the prison grounds, her being a parole person herself. So she's able to see Key Rock as Key Rock exits. And it was just such a sweet moment. She's crying. The only thing I thought was weird, it was like, why you got that little ass church purse?
Also, as we know, I think that the prison greeting outfit should be a onesie jumpsuit, especially.
Yeah. I mean, come on now. Justine set the blueprint of how you need to go to the prison to meet your mans.
Two things. You need a onesie jumpsuit, you need a hot car, and check, she had a hot car. She got like a beautiful E-Class. She called Key Rock's mom on the way there. They have a beautiful conversation. So we like know that it's like a really loving, joyful time. And she's so excited. Yeah. So as it's a beautiful, time for them to like come together and like hug on the side of the road when she's outside of prison walls. And, we set up a very interesting scene for us to watch was that Key Rock has been in prison for 7 years. And so besides the fact that Key Rock has talked to his mom, and obviously his mother has, heard an obvious change in Key Rock's voice, she has not seen Key Rock go through a masculinization of a face and body. She's waiting to see it. She's never seen her son really, and so there's a lot of anticipation and anxiety about that. And, I don't have a kid. And it's so interesting, like just I can't imagine even just watching your child pubatize in itself. Like children look different all the time from like 5 to 12 or like, and this is like one of those things where you're like, oh, you're going to see a transition, a person that had gone through like a transition and looks like who did she think that, what would a masculinization of who her child was in her mind? You know what I'm saying? So when we get to see this incredibly beautiful welcome, you can really tell also how handsome she finds Karak. Like, and it just, how beautiful, but also handsome in a way, and it makes me really, really happy.
Yeah, I love the moment where Kirok sees his mother with the thing over her face, and he's like, Mom, why you got that on? And she's like, well, it's because the chemo has changed this color of my skin, so I have discoloring. It's dark right here and whatever. And he lulls her into such a comfort place that she's able to take it off by the time, like later on, cameras are still there in their home. She has a conversation about totally accepting her child. And she's like, that's my son. He's always been that. And, the family is there, because Brittany has been living with his cousins and that whole setup thing. Like, where is EB's ass? You know what I'm saying? Where is EB's trifling ass? If Detective EB was sent on the case, Inspector EB was there to watch Brittany, then why ain't he here now? But
Inspector EB.
Yeah. So I we all knew it was kind of fraud, but I wonder when we get Evie coming back, I wonder what that conversation is going to be like. I'm just really happy for Kirok, and he apologizes for not being there. He truthfully, it sounds like the reason why he got caught up was just a backstory of father stuff. I want to know if Kirok and his mother was married to the father when the father told him to get out, because he came out, and I'm not even sure if he came out as trans, like the reason why the father said that to him. And so he just went out to the streets. Like, he felt like nobody loved him, and he was going through probably some kind of dysmorphia when it comes to like what he was seeing in the mirror and who he needed to be and who was being accepted. His mother going through chemo and being the first one of the family to not pass away from it, generation wise. And I know someone like that. I know someone who is lineage is like that, where every generation someone gets cancer and overcomes it, or doesn't overcome it. And this time because of modern medicine, able to overcome it. And so it's just such, it's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And so it was just really nice to see this interaction.
Okay, so yeah, Kirok's whole family, the women in Kirok's family have a generational genetic kind of breast cancer.
Yep.
Now, what we don't know is if Kirok has ever been tested, because I know there's like gene therapies to find out, percentage wise, and if Kirok has like come to some sort of understanding of that, or my God bless, I will tell you this, like, so if you have, we know that these genes exist, and so sometimes people will elect to have a double mastectomy if this is the case. And then I wonder for someone like Kirok, who that might or might not be on his radar anyway for his own transitional purposes. We don't know, and I wonder if that has come into play, or if, like if it's, this is a lot of information and a lot of like sudden interesting conversation and very real things. And it's so weird because then we're going to have like a fake scene between so and so. It's always crazy when you have these nuggets of like stark realism and an intense life or death, high stakes human drama that feels very real. Yeah. Well, no, I'll never get over how beautiful this scene was, or how loving and warm that their energy was for each other. Like, I was happy to see Kirok with his brother, fuck his dad, and
Yeah. And I'm the rap he did in front of the prison to Brittany, and Brittany was like, and it was just like the rap. I mean, was it bars? No, for me, no, but it definitely did outline his journey and how he sees himself now, and how his life took a turn that he regrets because of the hurt that happened in the home. So I don't want to see any more fake nonsense from them, but I know we will, because I feel like we've been seeing they're all last season was fake nonsense for the most part. And so I'm happy for this. I'm happy we got this, and I will harken back to this once it gets silly. Are you ready to move on?
I would love it.
Okay. Andy and Brittany. What even happened here?
It's so funny because this was a weird. Yeah, this was like okay. So obviously, as we know, he brought his son and balloons, and Gracie's there, and now everyone's all on the road to get Brittany. And we have all of the other, we have to like kind of. The other thing about the transition from love during lockup to love after lockup is they kind of want to assume that there might be people who are just tuning in as if they hadn't just seen the whole last season. So there's going to be a little like backstory, cleanup of like the fact that, yeah, this person is a cop that just keeps being with addict women and, all the stuff or whatever. So, but we do get Brittany out and, really mild trauma to understand how deep Gracie has suffered because of the fact that her mom got into meth and she was the oldest child. So she probably saw it a lot. And then she says this thing that I will say, I want to be true. And we see and have heard, which is a daughter who is around the age of like 15 to 19, who now watches her adult mom come out of prison. And either she or her mom has a promise that like, I'll never go back. I don't think it was going to happen again. I think this is the final one. And there's something about that is like, oh dear God, I hope it is. It's very hard to watch. It's always hard to watch children at all, but like, it's always this age range of like a 15 to 19-year-old who has already seen it and she's out. And there's just like, I just hope to God for you that like, you're not just going to repeat another cycle of trauma in front of your child.
Yeah, it's always difficult for me when someone is not on drugs, has a bunch of children, and then is like, oh, guess what, drugs. And I think that's hard. So that's hard. So I really feel for Gracie, and she's like, I know my mom won't go back in this time. And I was like, girl, do not put your faith in that. But she's young. Her mother was 16. She was 16 when her mother went in. And she says, Brittany, from her own mouth, that every single cop in her town knows her by the back of her head. She is just wild in the streets. I mean, just a wild Tasmanian devil.
That was before she had kids too. That's before she had kids.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
So she was already whether she, that means this. That means this person might have got into meth, but this person had probably already had some substance issues like alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Or some mental challenges that was allowing her to run a ruckus a lot,
Mm-hmm. Run amok, So once we found all that out, I was like, Andy, take your son and just go the fuck home. And then who didn't get helium in the balloons? Chris, who didn't? He went somewhere and got balloons and didn't even splurge for the helium? Talking about we're gonna release it. The shit didn't even go anywhere. It just like blew in his face or something. It just like, and then they sat there for 2 hours.
Holding, it's the three of them. He's holding a vased,
a square,
beautiful arrangement. Now I'm gonna do this. The colors he picked a bunch of colors. He picked every color, honey. It was blue, yellow, red, green. They're all there. Okay, everything is represented. He is holding it's a square box. Him, Gracie, some with balloons for 2 hours just standing there. I don't understand how and why. Would you put down the flowers? Like, go back in the car, put the flowers in the car. Like, you cannot. I can't even imagine. Can I be honest? There's no way. There's no way that man stood there with his arms like that. There's no way that he could hold it for 2 hours. That's like,
it was a lie. Either it was a straight up lie that it was 2 hours, or they actually did just go sit in the car. But I mean, Gracie hates Andy. It's clear that she doesn't like him. It's clear that she's like, I feel like she doesn't think her mom should be in a relationship. She should just focus on the kids and go back to wherever. And it was just all very, very true. But like, she's like, I'm uncomfortable, like all this stuff. And I just, I don't get it. Actually, I don't. But that's her piece, that's her life. And so I
I
want
think
the
it's
best for
that
her.
thing where like Lizzie's daughter felt it too, where
Mm-hmm.
they feel, fuck, our mom, I think our mom is a little bit crazy, but I want the best for her. I'm too young to have the emotional IQ to understand this person might have to be cut out of my life because she might be crazy. But what I'm feeling right now is this. My mom's out. I'm so excited. Why is my mom simping with this really ugly, disgusting old man? Both women thought that. Why is my mom simping with this old, disgusting man? She must need something. What she needs. And then they think they know intrinsically that probably their mother is manipulating or needing something. Brittany needs stability in her money. And Andy has already talked about the fact that he's going to give Brittany money and has given Brittany money. And they're even setting up what this season might be, which is Brittany asking for more money. So I think that straight up Gracie can feel it all. So right now she's embarrassed. She's cringy. She doesn't want it. Like she wants her mom out of prison. She wants her mom to do well. She wants her mom to have money and stability, but she's seeing what her mom is doing to get it, which is, being with a disgusting person.
Yep. So, I mean, I think that anybody would judge, not anybody, but a lot of people judge folks who just like choose to pick up somebody who's in prison because it feels like they are not scavenging, but they are purposely going for folks in prison, trying to use them in some way,
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Brittany doesn't have a lot of options. Brittany is not a good-looking woman.
I think she is.
Oh no, she's rough.
Yeah, she's rough, but I think she's a great smile. I think she's cute. It's just so interesting. You and I have such different. Every time I'm like, yeah, you're like, no. You're like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, never.
Not at all. I
Yeah,
know.
it's hilarious. Okay, last couple is Louis and Melissa. Melissa's father lost weight. I didn't even recognize him. Melissa's sister also just like fully force went into her hairstyle. I mean, listen, I am never one to tell someone that, hey, I don't care if people who are not black get braids. I don't care about it usually at all. And I don't care about this either, but I'm like, damn, like, does she fully go and get faux locks? They look faux locks. They look like she just sat in somebody's chair and they just, and I know they're not, like, maybe that's her, like, I don't know, maybe she's like Misty Woo Woo, she like reads tarot. I don't know. And then like both her, like Melissa is the most, we don't see any of Melissa's tattoos if she has any. Melissa is the seemingly to me the most grounded as far as the sisters go. She's the one who looks like she has a steady job. She's the one who looks like she pays all her bills on time. Her other two sisters just look like, I mean, the whole chest tattoo. The other two sisters look like they're into some shit. One is tarot, and the other one is like, I don't know, something
Did
else.
you see what I wrote down?
No.
I said they look like Jersey Amy Winehouses.
Like,
The black
yeah.
hair, like the obviously dyed dark hair. The eye makeup, it's like the kind very pale, kind of skinnier faces, like juxtaposed against, darkened hair, and then tattoos, yes, and like tattoos and tank tops, like the vibe almost was kind of like, obviously, yes, trashy rockery. Like when I say Amy
Yeah.
Winehouse, obviously not like doo-wop, but that kind of like, they're gonna go to, yeah, they're definitely gonna go like to some,
Groupie. Like, it's giving group,
listen
like,
to live music. All like, this person's definitely listening to live music every night of the week, and it's like
in a
a certain
bar.
kind. Yeah, it's definitely not like Lana Del Rey.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's so those two look like they'd be dating somebody in prison. And then the
Absolutely.
one who looks like she has the steady job and has to like answer to a boss is the one who's doing it. So it just, I do love their relationship though. I love when they laughed at what their dad was wearing. Like, that was the best because me and my siblings do the same thing. I'd be like, what was he wearing? Can we just start laughing? So it's like their camaraderie is cute or whatever. She's late. I mean, apparently she's chronically late because they're like, yeah, why were you late? And then the mother, Donna, she's like, oh yeah, you're late. And I'm like, you know what? Melissa, stop wasting these people's time. Just show up on time, Melissa.
'Cause some of
Um,
us have ADD and some of us just like, like, listen, some of us run late and get anxious when we have to leave. And sometimes there's things that happen. And so sometimes we were, 5 minutes is like, 5 to 15 minutes, we just have to like give everyone a buffer. I think a 15 minutes is chill. And if maybe she reached out, but I will just want to second this. You're so right. The sisters, one of the better parts of the dialogue of the entire episode is the sisters like ragging on each other, how
yeah.
fast they are to be like, about his teeth and like like they are quick, they are quick,
I
and
mean,
they don't give not a one f,
that dad
they,
is quick too. He was like, and we were all like, "Eh." I mean, listen, that's not my experience. My dad has all his original teeth, so like, it just, it's weird. It freaks me out. It's so weird.
yeah,
Um,
it is true. Like yeah, Melissa is Melissa likes some bad boys, maybe.
oh my
That's what it's,
god.
no teeth is such a big thing. Like I remember just being like, oh, like I can't imagine kissing a cigarette smoker, but I
Oh
definitely did
no.
in my 20s.
Oh, I'm never.
Oh, for sure I did. In fact, in my 20s, I'm sure guys were quote unquote hotter to me if I looked out and they were smoking a cigarette right and hotly at a bar. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain ways that, like I can, where I'm like, oh, okay, well, okay. I'm like, hey, that's okay. So I think that in that way, I got
We don't even know
over
what just happened. We
teeth hygiene. Yeah, you got it. You can pick it all up. Like in that moment, I got over the teeth hygiene of this person being like, he's a smoker, but I'm into it. I'm going to kiss it. I'm going to like taste it. Everything is going to be fine. I'm into it. And there's got to be this place that she's gotten to where like, I'm going to kiss his mouth and the 4 teeth that are left in various areas, we'll see how they do with that, like, and if I French kiss, it's just going to be like tugging a thing of like Jello, like not nary any, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, she has in her mind remedied that.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that someone lost all their teeth due to meth is like intense for me.
That
And
no, it was the jail. That's the reason why. And the sister's like, but why? Because really, the jail just pulled out normal, healthy teeth. What was there a reason why, bitch? She's like, just kidding, man.
did you notice that every picture they show of them from high school is black and white, meaning that they were like either sophomore or juniors or whatever? They weren't even seniors, where you get the color photo. So like, he didn't even make it to senior year, bro. Like she was like, he was hot, he was definitely the bad boy. And I'm like, even if if I were to start dating the bad boy, he would need to be 5 years in recovery and also making a like a good living as like a construction worker or something. Like he would need to be so far away from that that I mean, and living in a different place. And she wants to bring him back to New Jersey where he got into drugs. It's just like, it's so dumb.
Then we get Debbie. I'll tell you this. Debbie had a little glow up.
Donna,
Donna.
her hair grew.
Donna had a glow up.
She did.
She looks way better.
It's still short enough, but she's long enough to do, It's like, it was like, when we first met Debbie of Debbie and Colty, it was like she had that haircut.
Yes.
Where she was like, absolutely no maintenance is required. And then it grew out a little longer. And now she was given like good little swoop, that little like swoopy doop in the front here. What is this? Like, Chris, I was like looking at it and I was going to ask you, like, she blow dries it. What happens?
I think that she was I think it's a one big curler. I think it's a curler.
Oh.
A single curler.
Well, anyway,
I think about curlers. I loved so many curlers back then. Like my mother and my grandmother had just the ones, where you kind of like roll them down. That's the pinnacle, and you would have to put this U-shaped thing. You would hold it. That's
hot
like
one.
The one. Hot one. Then in the 90s there were the hot rods, and they were these long skinny tubes that you would pull out hot, and then you'd wrap your hair around it, and it would just be like this holding thing. It looked like sleeping curlers. It's so funny because suddenly, as a society, we were like, you know what? Fuck curlers. We'll just use curling irons. But they already had curling irons. But I feel like we were just like, you know what? Fuck it. We'll just use curling irons. We'll like have a curling iron. We'll wrap it. We'll get out, wrap it. And then it became that thing you wrap. Sometimes you wrap it the other way. Sometimes you leave the ends out, and that gives it more of a beachy curl. I know that people still might use curlers, like, or set their hair in big foam rollers and stuff like that.
I love that. I love it.
You love that?
Yeah. You know what? I feel like there was a time frame in our recent history where every woman, regardless of hair texture and like culture, used to set their hair before they went to bed or did something where like I think I mean I don't know this, but I imagine, and I don't know this because I don't have that kind of hair, but I imagine that like the hot ones, hot ones that you pull out and you put up on your hair, I imagine that those are probably healthier for your hair than a hot ass curling iron going on it. I love the pageantry of like, oh, I'm just gonna put my hair in these little curls, or I'm gonna get like a soft pillow thing. I'm gonna put rags, or I like that. I think that that's something that Black women still do. We have to wrap our hair at night. We have to put a head thing on, and it's something that we never stopped doing. And like, but other cultures did stop doing it. And now, like the bonnets, now that Black women are like on social media with bonnets and stuff, there's so many non-Black folk who roam around with bonnets now that I'm like, listen, let's normalize it because women sometimes do that to their hair. So let's not say like, oh, only they do that. It's like there was a time when everyone set their hair at night. Not to say she's being uncomfortable and sleep with fucking curlers. I get it, but
no, I mean, I have got the little pillow curlers. There's little pillow curlers that I don't mind, but
they're cute. And
yeah.
it like keeps your hair, it's not all over the place. It's not in a ponytail and like breaking your hair. It's, I think
Yeah, you got to do something. It's this is a whole thing to like sleep with silk. It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Did we talk about the black ombre sparkle nails that Melissa had on?
Oh my god, we didn't. But let's
okay, because I did have these nails. I think I got these nails. Okay, the black sparkle gold ombre from either the base going this way or the tip going down. I think I was like mildly obsessed with for the first time like 10 years ago, like for a New Year's Eve. It's where they just get, whatever shimmer glitter, and they can either pat it on and then ombre it either again from the base or the top. Now she has it from the top ombreing down against black. It is perfect.
I really just love anybody who gets their nails done. There's certain, because I do it, and we all know, I've talked about it a million times. I love it when I can tell that there is like not effort, that's the wrong way, but there is a regimen. Yeah. I go get my nails done every 2 weeks. There's going to be something different. You're going to see a little something. And like, I also get my eyebrows done. Like you go get Bellagio to your hair. No, balayage.
I get Bellagio done in my hair?
Balayage,
like
right? Or, you have a thing that you do. I love a regimen. And I love it for men too. I love it for anyone. All spectrums. I love it when I can tell that a person like made some choices before they left the home.
They take care. We want to see people take care of themselves because, and have self-respect.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to see people just running around in PJ pants, honey. All right, my loves. I think that we've come to an end.
Yeah, we have. We have come to the end. I hope we didn't miss anything from the Louis and Melissa thing, but that Donna's like, I was the one sending him gifts. I was the one doing all of this. You think this little girl is going to swoop in and take my son? No. I'm making Louis's bed.
Yeah, and then Melissa's like, and I'm getting Louis's favorite Italian wedding cookies.
I know. But we love to see it. All right, you guys. No, there is all right, you guys, we're saying bye. But also there is another fun couple that they haven't introduced yet that I already know. Someone else is coming back, and I can't remember who it is. Do you remember seeing them? And you're like, I was like, oh, such and such is in this season.
No. I watched this on Friday.
No.
So many things have happened since.
No memories for little Chrissy Poo?
No. All right.
We'll see you guys later. If you guys want to see the visuals of what you're listening to right now, you'll join us on patreon.com/DocuSweeties for $10 a month. You get a live every first Monday of the month. You get to get extra footage. You get the episode a day before. It goes live on the free feed. And if you just want to support us, if you're like, hey, I want to support these ladies who make us laugh, please, $10 a month, patreon.com/DocuSweeties. But if you don't have that and you want to support us in other ways, Chris will tell you how to do that.
Just go into your social medias. Make sure you're liking and following, just like all of our posts, just every single one of them, and sharing. But if you can, whatever, do. We are at DocuSweeties on Instagram, on TikTok, on X. We have to add a 1, though. It's at DocuSweeties1. We are also on Facebook. We have a Facebook group, the DocuSweeties Podcast group. So join us on all of that. If you want to give us 5 stars, that's another free thing you can do to make sure that, you really are sending it home how much you like and accept us. And we need it. I mean, we have insecure attachment. I do. I won't put that on wall, but I do. So you have to really validate me through your words of affirmation. Anyway, having said all that, we love you guys so much, and we're on this journey, and honey, it's life. It's life after lockup. It's life for the rest of our lives. All right. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.